This is One-on-One. There she is, Pauline Frommer, travel expert, author of Frommer's Travel Guides. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
The word around town and around the country is, if you want to know about travel, ask Pauline.
Oh, well, bless you. And ask my father. He actually was the founder of the Frommer Guidebooks about 55 years ago now.
Talk about that whole thing. How did it start? Did he just say, hey, there's a void, I'm going to fill it, and then the family picked it up?
He was in the Army. He was in the Army during the Korean War. Europe was in shambles. All of his fellow GIs were just staying at the base. They were too nervous to travel. They thought it would be too difficult. He started traveling. Everybody said, how'd you do it? So he self-published a book called The GI's Guide to Europe. And then when he got back to the U.S., he was a lawyer, self-published Europe on $5 a day, changed his life.
Get out of here. That's the
story. Yeah,
So,
thanks to the Army.
Yeah, but fast forward.
Yeah.
Because
He was in Europe during the Korean War, I should say.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you get the bug early on? The travel bug?
I started traveling with my father when I was 4 months old because we had to go to Europe every year to update the book, and they would just push me in a drawer for the night because there weren't, porta-cribs back then. Right. They joked they should call it Europe on 5 diapers a day. But it's a great family business. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky.
But what's so interesting is that when you fast forward, there were so many pieces to the brand and the organization.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And one of the first ways I knew about who you guys are and what you do is that I tell you, I have a relationship with a radio station here in New York, WOR.
Yes, so do I. So do I.
I know.
Proudly so.
And because your program is nationally syndicated out of there. Recently, as we're doing this program, WOR bought by Clear Channel. We'll see how things shake out. But if folks are smart, well, they'll understand the value of what's happening there. But so as soon as I walked in, the Frommer name, the Frommer brand, and what you bring there is all over the place.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, here's the thing. Who and what is the audience for travel? Is it everyone? And, double-sided question, how much has the economy changed it?
The economy has changed it to a certain degree. Actually, luxury travel is doing better than budget travel is right now, believe it or not. The high end, the 1%, they never stopped traveling.
Right.
The rest of us had to cut back a little bit. But the thing about travel is you can often travel for cheaper than you'll live at home.
How?
You just have to do it in a savvy way. Right now is repositioning season for cruises. You can be on a cruise for $45 per day. That's for your lodging, that's for 12 meals a day, that's for activities, that's for seeing the world in different ports. If you're savvy about it, you don't need to cut back on your travel. There are ways to do it inexpensively.
You know, I'm prepping for the show. One of the things I picked up that you were saying, you talk about where you should splurge and where you should scrimp.
Yeah.
And right away, it threw me off because I'm very difficult. My wife would say so too. So you said, don't spend a lot of money. You said, scrimp on a hotel. I'm saying, what are you talking about? I can't do that. Meaning, I'm thinking, I want the hotel that gives you all the amenities. And you said, no, don't spend all that money. You said, splurge on sightseeing.
If you're in a hotel where the hotel is the vacation, you're there just for the beach in front of the hotel, yeah, you might splurge on that hotel. But usually you're there to see the destination. You're there to get out of the hotel, because what do you do at the hotel?
Yes.
You do that. That's all you do. And you can sleep as well in a $70 a night place as you can in a $200 a night place often. And you don't get nickeled and dimed as much.
What do you mean?
At the cheap motels, it's standard to get free Wi-Fi, free local and long-distance calls. You go to a place that has porters and bellhops and the like, you're going to be paying $24 a day for Wi-Fi. They're going to be trying to charge you if you take something out of the mini bar. They're not going to charge you just for that item. They're going to charge you to restock it.
Sure.
I mean, there's so many extra fees with travel.
Excuse me, you also talked about looking to stay into an apartment.
Oh, yes.
What's that about?
Oh, that's the greatest thing ever. Since the housing fallout of 2008, a lot of people are finding a way to make extra money by renting out their second homes or even their first homes and going to stay with friends. So you can have, for the cost of a hotel, a complete apartment or house. People are willing to make a deal. There's been this flourishing of websites like HomeAway.com and FlipKey.com and VRBO, which stands for Vacation Rental by Owner. And all of these places are driving down the costs of rentals because Everybody's getting into it now. It's a great way to make a little extra money, and for you, the traveler, to save. And you not only save on the cost of it, you can cook your own meals. You can put your kids in another bedroom so you don't have to share the same hotel room. It's a great way to travel.
The whole airline situation, how has it changed the way you give advice?
The airline, it's very rough to save money on airfares right now. That's because there are fewer planes in the sky.
Right.
The airlines are trying to make every nickel on every flight, so they have fewer flights so they can keep the ones they're running full. So there are less deals, but you go to a broad search engine to get the best deals. You go to a site like Momondo or DoHop or kayak.com, and these are sites that show you every single option. You also take into account fees. Fees can add a lot. If you fly Spirit Airlines right now and you try and bring a roll-on or a carry-on bag into the cabin, that could cost you up to $100 right now if you don't book that online first. So there are these outrageous fees. You got to become a pro at reading the fine print.
You know, right outside here, right? You see
Yeah.
our shot right here at 66 and Broadway in Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
You're talking about traveling right here in the greatest city in the world. You've got some tips for people who want to appreciate this city, some mistakes people make and some things they should be thinking about. Go.
Well, for visitors coming into the city, I think they think that Times Square is the heart of it. And for those of us who live in New York, that's the area we avoid. We love going to Broadway shows, but
Right.
you have so many people coming to New York saying, I could never live here, it's so frenetic, it's so crazy. That's because they're staying in Times Square. You go out to the neighborhoods, you see how we live, you get much better food usually outside of Times Square, with
Sure.
some exceptions. So see the real New York if you're coming, and go to great places like the American Folk Art Museum, which is an
We're just
extraordinary
doing that segment, right?
museum. Yeah. Or go to the Museum for the Moving Image, as well as our great museums like the Metropolitan, MoMA. I mean, we know all those names. The secret about New York is we have less well-known museums, which would be the most popular museum in any other city in the U.S. We just have such an incredible abundance of riches here in our cultural offerings.
And not to forget the other boroughs outside of Manhattan.
Absolutely. Like the Museum of the Moving Image, which is in Queens.
Good stuff. Pauline Frommer, travel expert, author of Frommer's Travel Guides. You have offered a tremendous public service, and we appreciate you coming into our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is One-on-One from the Tisch WNET studios, right here in Lincoln Center. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you so much.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Medical Center, Berkeley College, TD Bank, Qualcare Inc., a local managed care company covering 750,000 New Jersey residents, the law firm of Gibbons PC, and by Verizon Communications. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, Everything Jersey, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.